The secrets to a long and healthy life. Everybody wants to know that, don't they? This all started, this longevity craze, back many years ago in a study where they looked at groups around the world where they seemed to be longevity hotbeds. In other words, they lived significantly longer in these areas than other areas. And it really didn't have anything to do with the location. It had to do with what they were doing. So we're going to look at that in this video. Blue zone areas where they live exceptionally long. Here's what it said. In these areas, the number of centenarians, those who reach 100, is 10 times greater than in the United States. So that's significant. They lived in these areas and they were called blue zones just because the demographer who was putting things on a map used blue for the color that he was indicating for these longevity hotbeds. And for decades now, I have been helping people increase their lifespan and their health span. So it's fine to live a longer life, but you want to be healthy your whole life. And there's some things that you're going to learn in this video that will help you do that. In the study, they looked at people from Okinawa. At the time, it was the longest living country in the world, most centenarians per population of anyone, and it had to do with some key things they were doing. We'll look at those. Japan is on the list too. Here's an 84-year-old training for his annual decathlon. Now, if you can imagine that, that's pretty demanding. Or this guy from Sardinia, Italy, Govini, on the end there, 103 years old, not even thinking about a nursing home. And Marge here from Loma Linda, California. And yes, the United States made the list with one city. And it happens to be because they have a group of Seventh-day Adventists there who have very good health practices. So this is what the blue zone looks like. It is a longer life and also a healthier life. They avoid this typical lifeline where you have poor health and chronic diseases and medications and low energy. So the question I have for you tonight is, are you in the blue zone, or are you down on the typical lifeline that most Americans are on? Now, if you are, don't worry. There is a ladder that can get you back up into good health, and the 7 Systems Plan is that perfect ladder. But you may be saying, all right, if I start at age 70, can I still make a difference? Well, here's what the studies show. You get an extra 10 years of life, even starting that late. Studies of 70 to 90-year-olds who changed their lifestyle had 11 years more till their first infirmity and 50% decrease in all mortality causes. That's tremendous. Here's a couple that I helped many, many years ago. They were in their 70s. And they lost a lot of weight. They fixed their 7 systems, and he got strong enough to lift his wife. So let's look at 9 lessons from this study that I think you should know about. Here's the 9 things they did. In general, they moved naturally. Now, this didn't just mean working out or going to the gym. Instead, it emphasized incidental activities such as walking to work or school, cycling, walking while talking on the telephone, which is a habit I have for some reason, working in the garden without tools, so using your hands instead of mechanical conveniences. Move more. Number 2, know your purpose. Now this is a biggie. Having a reason to wake up in the morning is extremely important, and the authors of this study actually said this alone can add 7 years to your life. Now, if you think about that, what happens to a lot of people when they retire, especially men? Well, they can die in a couple years or 1 year sometimes, and it's because they may lose their purpose in life. Number 3, take it easy, banish stress. So they have routines that they use to get rid of stress. Now this can be anything: meditation, napping, going to happy hour like the Sardinians do, although you won't want to imbibe that much. But have something that you do every day to get rid of stress. Number 4, don't overeat. In fact, in Okinawa they say, Heri Hushibu, which means I'm about 80% full. Now, what's our saying in America as opposed to that? I'm stuffed. I can't eat anymore. So we really should stop when we're satisfied and not when we're overstuffed. The fifth secret was eating plants, and I encourage you on the 7 Systems plan to eat more plants, and beans seem to be the cornerstone for most of these centenarians. And they consumed less meat. Now, I'm not telling you not to have any meat, but they only had meat 5 times a month. So we need to decrease our animal proteins and increase our plant proteins for a longer life. Number 6, drink in moderation if you choose. Now, I got to tell you, there's studies on both sides of this. Some studies say a little alcohol is helpful. Some say it is not at all. But 1 to 2 drinks maximum, and that was a common theme among some of the Blue Zone people. But on the other hand, the Seventh-day Adventists don't drink any alcohol, and they are still in the Blue Zone. Number 7, belong to a spiritual community. You need to be in a part of a spiritual community that shares your common beliefs. This was common throughout the Blue Zone inhabitants. Number 8, put loved ones first. So put family first, including investing in your children, committing to a partner, and keeping aging parents and grandparents nearby. It will make you live longer. And the last one, number 9, stay social. Now, what does that mean? It means to have a social circle around you that supports your healthy behaviors, because happiness is contagious and health tends to be contagious too. And I want to remind you that you are never too old to help improve your health tremendously. Don and Millie were 81 when they went through the 7 Systems plan, improved their health tremendously, and Don ended up working until he was 90 years old. So thanks for staying with me in this mini-series on longevity, and if you want more information, check out the 7 Systems plan.